Okay, so I was just driving in the car and I just put a video on to listen, and this came up in the playlist by Sonic Drive Studio. This dude right here talking about the ARC on-ear by IK Multimedia. And I was like, hold on a second. I think I have that. And I got home, sure enough, I have this. I knew they sent me like a little care package and something else in here that I can't show just yet. And he was talking about this device, and I was like, I didn't know what it was. When IK Multimedia reached out to me a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, do you want to test this out? I was like, sure. I didn't even look into it. But whenever they make something, I was like, I obviously want to test it out. They make amazing things. The Tone X and the Tone X1 to be specific. And he said something in this video, and I was like, what? No way. Let me just let you hear it.
So you can make the sound of your headphones flat. So you can make the frequency response neutral, which is already quite powerful. And you can enable that with the cal button over here. You can't really see it right now. Let me turn it on because it has a bit.
I was listening to that and I was like, hold on. I understand that software or device can do things before it gets to your headphones, but coming headphone out and listening to something and it calibrating that thing, I was like, how is this possible? So I did some more research and this looks pretty cool. So let's just frame the discussion first. What are we even talking about? Okay, if you are trying to mix something, maybe you're mixing a song that you wrote or somebody else wrote, or maybe you're like me and dialing in presets for your HX Stomp, Helix, Pod Go, any of them. Maybe that's very important for you to try to get the most neutral sound as possible so that when these presets leave my studio and go to your studio and your front of house in your wherever you play music, I want for you to be able to play and hear exactly what I intended when I designed it. That way it translates well. So I have to be very careful when I'm designing my presets to make sure I have flat frequency response speakers. I monitor through multiple different monitors just so I can hear different things. I even have the benefit of going to my church and listening through my front of house and the big sound system and dialing in and tweaking presets so that by the time you get them, they are great. But then I get questions all the time like, hey, Jimmy, what headphones should I use to monitor my sound at home? And when I dial in my sounds at home, it sounds good in my ears. Then I get to the venue and it sounds like poo. Or I get the question like, I don't have money for a nice expensive pair of neutral headphones. Which budget ones should I get? Well, this right here, the on-ear solves all that. And I thought there's no way it could do it, but they've thought ahead. This is not a gimmick. It actually solves real world problems that we all have, and I'm excited to dig into it. So let's open it up, see what we get, and then we'll test it out. And you might be like, Jimmy, what is this? What are we even talking about? I was listening to the video and I was like, I don't even know what this thing is. It's kind of like an audio interface. This is what it looks like. We'll open it here in a second. It's got a button. You put your headphones in it, but there's it says it's not like a plugin, but there's a software that corresponds with this that you can load sounds. They have modeled studio monitors, different brands of studio monitors, so you can feel what it would be like to have an expensive set of studio monitors, maybe when you don't have an expensive set, or you get that studio monitor feel with headphones. So here are some of the issues before we unbox this. First of all, hearing things in mono, this is one of the problems it solves. Hearing things in mono is not natural, right? We have two ears on opposite sides of our head. So anytime we hear something in mono, it sounds bad because that's not natural. So the obvious solution to that is to hear things in stereo. But stereo through headphones is also not natural. If you think about it, you have the left side going only in your left ear and the right side only going in your right ear. It's an extreme stereo experience that is also not natural because when we hear things, say I'm hearing something right here, I'm hearing it to my right ear, but my left ear is also hearing it. It's hearing it a little bit delayed. It's hearing it a little less volume. That is what is natural for us. That's how we intake sounds, the sonic experience of the world around us. And so hearing just through headphones creates an unnatural experience, even if it's stereo. There's also the sounds around us reflecting off the walls that make what we hear sound natural, because that's what we experience in real life. And so when we have headphones sitting right near our eardrums or in-ear monitors sitting right there, that is also unnatural, even if it's stereo, because you're not getting any reflections in the room. That is what this solves. Okay, One more thing before we move on. Why flat response or a neutral set of headphones or studio monitors is important. If you don't know, when you're creating sounds, let's just say you've got a cheap pair of Skull Candy headphones, right? And those things are bass boosted. You feel that bass, you love it. It reminds you of when you were a teenager in your car and you got subs in the back, or maybe you have that today. And you love that low end, that bass, and maybe you upgraded the tweeters and the high end is just piercing and you love that sound. Well, when you dial in a preset that already has the highs and or the lows super elevated in that monitor, in that thing that you're listening to, then when you crank up the bass just a little bit, you feel like you have plenty. So you might even cut the bass a little bit to make it sound natural. Same with the highs. Anytime we have a reference monitor that is not flat, it is raised maybe in the mids or the bass or the highs, then we account for that in our mix. Therefore, our mix will be missing those things that we thought we had too much of. For instance, if we have a lot of bass in our monitors, we might not put as much bass in the mix. Then when somebody's listening in their car or through the speakers, a lot of bass might be missing. Okay, I think you understand that. Let's unbox this and see how much it really solves the problem. I can think of some other applications too that I'm pretty excited about. Other than just mixing a song, mastering a song, or dialing in presets, I've also thought about, can this be hooked up to like my P16s so that I have a more natural feel in my personal monitors when I'm playing live? You know, our personal monitors at our church, they don't have reverb built into them. We're getting sent the signal pre-tap point, pre-effects, and so we just get the dry signal. Could I hook this up and come out of my P16 and dial in a more natural like room feel? That excites me as well. All right, what's in this box? There it is. ARC on-ear. There it is. Okay, so let's look at the onboard experience here. This is that cal button. This button says studio, and this says FN or function, which you can assign different things for that. You also have this knob right here. I heard in the video that this is a big deal. Never would have thought about it, but this is an analog knob versus a digital, which means that because it's analog, when you turn it down, you still get the sound quality. Whereas I guess digital volume gain knobs, as you turn them down, you get less pristine sounds. I guess, I don't know. Put down in the comments if I said that right. I don't even know. Let's look on the back here. This is the gold plated headphone out. It's got this little slant to it. It's kind of cool. 5 lights right here that I think correspond to the presets. So as you scroll through the studio presets, I think that's what happens right there. We will find out. This is the analog in, so this is where your sound will come from. It's also USB, so you can just hook it up to your computer and it just acts as an interface. And here's the power button right there. Now I heard, oh, it's already on. I was gonna say, I heard that it's powered via, let's see if I was right about the scrolling. Nothing is scrolling. So maybe that's the function button and you have to scroll through presets. Can this be powered non-battery? Because I heard it only has an hour battery life. So that wouldn't work unless I could just hook up. When I say that wouldn't work, I'm thinking about using this as a in-ear preamp coming out of my P16s. Which it's not what it's intended for. It was just something I thought would be cool. But there's no like power. So it's just battery, which I heard only lasts an hour. So Sunday mornings takes more than an hour. Unless I could just power it via USB, I probably could. So yeah, there we go. Awesome. How do you put the batteries in? I guess you got to unscrew it all, which maybe we should do that. See what it looks like inside. I think we also need to download some software for or maybe you just go online. I don't know yet. Let's look at the instructions. Here's the case. That's cool. Very nice. A couple cables here. Of course, very nice quality. It's got 2/4 inch to 1/8 inch cable here and USB-C cable right there. All right, register the product and then download the apps. Is this something I can download on my phone or is this just a desktop experience? Number 1, plug ARC on-ear into your computer. So I guess not the phone, using the included USB-C cable compatible with PC or Mac. No drivers or setup needed. Very cool. Number 2, open the ARC on-ear software, choose your headphone model and customize the listening experience. Sounds like you just dive right in. Okay, let's go do it. All right, ikdownloads.com/ARC in-ear. ARC on-ear, not in-ear. Here's where everything is. Ooh, some pretty pictures. That's what we were just reading. Where is the download? Oh, here's a chart. A reference you can trust. Every pair of headphones has its own sonic fingerprint. It uses precise calibration profiles measured with state-of-the-art reference rigs to ensure accurate, transparent, reliable sound with support for hundreds of popular headphone models. So that's how they do it. Headphone models. Popular headphone models. I have the One Audio. I wonder if that's in there. Over there, I have my Sennheiser HD600s. I would think those would be in there. Are there any in-ear monitors? Probably not, because it's probably just a studio monitor type thing. Yeah, we'll check it out. Look, supported headphones. Okay. AG, blah, blah, Sennheiser. Oh, well, let's go One Audio. One Audio is one of those. Oh, it's on here. Sweet. I think these are the 80s. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure these are the 80s right here. I'll have to look back at that. Nice, so they do have it. Huh, cool. And I heard they're going to be adding more and more. Sennheiser HD600 right there, 300. Oh, that. So both of my headphones are in here, so I'll be able to reference two different ones. Very cool. Studio monitors in your headphones. Unlike plugins or impulse-based virtual rooms, Arc On-Ear uses advanced physical modeling to recreate how studio monitors behave in an ideal acoustic space. No artificial reverbs, no timbral coloration, just the natural depth, width, and clarity of the real control room right in your headphones. I don't even understand how that's possible, how it's not fake. It says no fake reverbs. No artificial reverbs. Well, I don't know. All right, we're going to open this. I want to not just look at it. I want to do it. Where do I download? Is there a big download button somewhere? Video, supported headphones. Oh, apps. It did say apps. Oh, this product is $249.99. $250. Boom. There it is. I would love to click on it. iOS, Android free bonus content. Bonus content. So it looks like maybe you can do it on your phone. I'll try that in a minute. So what you have to do is you go register your product. Once you do, you go to the product. You click software. I'm going to download for Mac OS. Yes, let's do it. You get the manual. You can go through and install. Now we'll pull it up for the first time and see what we need to do. Update firmware. Okay. Power off your device, then on again. Okay. Take it off. Disconnecting device. And now we're going to plug it in, turn it on. Here we go. Nice. The battery level is at 9%. That's good to know. If I turn this off, does it disconnect? It does. Okay. Now we know. Okay, we're plugged in here. Frequency response or a space. So you can like, oh, right there. You can just click and start doing stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. There's some width, default preset, attenuation, brightness. Okay. So I guess we need to plug in some headphones. Gonna use the One Audios, M80. Whoa. So I just did the test. It got louder, but they're more flat now. That's cool. You can click the cow button. Oh, that's cool. And there's an iPhone. Okay, I know y'all can't hear anything, but I'm just playing. This is awesome. Okay, now I have my HD600s in. When you put the studio simulation on, it feels like it gets more mid-scooped, more controlled bass. I love this right here, the studio simulation, not having it extreme wide. Okay, one thing I can't figure out is how to scroll through the presets on the device itself. The function only gives you phase align, virtual speaker, mono, stereo to mono, dim, mute, LED off, and play and pause. But I can't seem to scroll through the presets right here. There's like, you know, I set up this preset exactly the same. There's no save button either, and there's no naming them. It's just how you left it. And then these are stock because I didn't do anything to these, but I don't know how to cycle through them. I see on the device that the light changes. See that? I just don't know how you would cycle through because this is just studio on and off unless you hold it. Do you hold it and turn? No. Hold it and function at the same time. So I don't know how to do that. That's one question I would have because I would want to like dial in maybe 5 different sounds and then pick which one I want if I'm out and about and I'm not at my computer to do this. Anyways, let's just take a look around real quick. You can dial this in more warm, more bright, more flat. You can take phase line off. I didn't notice anything different. One more thing I want to do is like plug my guitar into here and listen to it. But the calibration is what takes the headphones, I guess, and you're calibrating them. I wish this was over here or maybe under calibration so I knew what was going on, but I get it now. And then this is connected, the studio simulation is connected to the virtual speakers. You can have the virtual speakers turned off and just deal with ambience, which I wish you could affect the ambience. I wish that maybe I could add more reverb, just for other applications, other places I might would want to use it where I'd want to add more reverb, because the ambience is what you would want. It's just very subtle. This is really cool. The width thing, being able to listen to your recording when it's summed to mono versus super wide versus right here at 100% width. So I'm going to plug in my guitar now. I also, just so you know, tried what I was thinking with my in-ears. I just did it here in my studio where instead of coming just out of the computer and having it feed that, I actually made the audio go through my Focusrite and plugged this headphone out and in there, and anything that comes out here you can also tweak, which is pretty cool. So since I can do that, I'm gonna run my Helix patches through there and see what it sounds like. Okay, let's turn on the calibration. I hear a little bit of that ambience. Again, it's not much. It just makes you feel like you're in the room. So I'm gonna switch these headphones out. These are already open back, so I kind of get a little bit of bleed from the room. I'm gonna put the One Audio M80s in again. These are definitely closed back, and I need to switch to that headphone. So go back to One Audio, pick out the M80s, close. Let's turn this off, this off. Just ever so slightly adds a little bit of texture. Turn some reverb on. This is a great tool to hear how your patches sound if you're dialing them in stereo at home, but you go to church and there's a mono sound system. I love that virtual speaker for this because a lot of times when we have these headphones on, we can hear every little pristine sound. And like I said, it almost like mid scoops a little bit. There's just some, I don't know what it's called, but there's an EQ difference. Obviously, it's just an EQ being applied, but it helps you feel what it would sound like, hear what it would sound like in a mix where you're not hearing everything coming at you 100%, because by the time you stand in front of house even, the sound just hits you differently. What's funny is the studio monitors are supposed to give you a flat reference for what you're hearing anyways, and each model changes the EQ. It just shows to Goya that not every studio monitor is actually flat, and they've tested them apparently, and you can know that. Anyways, I could sit here and play all day. I don't know how valuable this video is to you because you can't hear what I'm hearing, but I think this might be something worth trying. Is it worth taking to church and adding reverb? It's not a lot, so it's barely. I might try it just for the fun of it, but would I buy it just for that? Probably not. But dialing in presets at home and hearing, I mean, one of my biggest tips always has been like monitor your sound through as many monitors as possible to ensure that you're getting the tone that you want. And this definitely helps get you there, especially if you only have like one set of monitors, whether it be studio, headphones, in-ear monitors. You can at least try some different things, hear your sounds in different rooms, different spaces, and get more of a feel of what your sound actually sounds like. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, sticking out to the end. Thank you IK Multimedia for sending me this. Stay subscribed because they sent me something else in another box I got to check out soon, and I'm gonna make a video about that and a bunch of other videos. So I'll see you in the next one.